Yo guys, welcome to this video, and in this video I'm going to completely set up the Tippling Archer SE 1200 this C6 model version 3.2 router. And this video is going to be a little lengthy guys, because I'm going to cover with the advanced settings as well with the quick setup, and I will be explaining all the features to unlock its full potential. So without any more delay guys, let's get started. So the first thing you need to open is just a web browser. As you guys know, you need to open any web browser. I'm using Chrome right now, and you need to provide the IP address, that is 192.168.0.1, and just press enter. Okay, so here is a screen that is saying you have to create a password for the first time, because this is a new router. You have to create a password for your own for login purposes. And this is a pop-up guys, and in this pop-up there are apps provided in both Google Play Store and the iOS App Store. You can download the app and can access the router in a local way or in a cloud way, whatever you want to do you can easily access. And there are many more features available, just check it out. So just closing down this thing and making a password. So create a password and make sure you satisfy all the three parameters over here. Okay, so I'm providing the password once again to verify it, and press let's get started. Okay, so once you've done all this, the router is asking to log in with the new password that you have just created. So I'm providing the password that I have just created right now, and press the login. So as you can see guys, this is a quick setup page, and the first we have to provide the time zone. Give the time zone the place where you live. As I'm from India, I'm giving the time zone accordingly. For India, as you guys know, that it's the time zone of 5:30. I guess I'm coming down. Okay, this one, right? So hit next. And now this is a thing, and you should be make sure that what type of IP address you are availing from your ISP. So if it's static IP, so configure static IP. If you have dynamics, select dynamic and hit continue. In my case, I'm having a static IP, so I am selecting static IP and select next and providing the IP. So this is my static IP. This is the subnet mask, and I'm to provide the default gateway and also the DNS server. One DNS server is enough that you get from the ISP, and you can provide the alternate also. And you can also provide Google DNS guys, because sometimes mess up happens while accessing the internet. You have to change the DNS for testing purposes. You can also change accordingly, and just hit next. Okay, so for now I am keeping this in default settings and going to next. I will be explaining these on the advanced settings later. So I'm hitting the next button. Okay, and then click save, and this is the details that you have just made with the route and the initial setup. That is the time zone, internet connection, that is static IP, smart connect for the Wi-Fi, wireless is default on. This is the default SSID, that is the default. It consists of the both dual channel 2.4G and 5G, and this is the default password generated by the router itself. And just hit save. Okay, so once you have done all this, just click finish. Just ignore all these errors, because this error is coming because of the WAN port is missing the cable. There is no connection to the WAN port of this router. So just hit finish. Okay, so we got the advanced settings right here, and on the status we got all the status, all the details of the configuration of the router. And here is the performance settings. We have got the information about the wired clients and the wireless. As usual, we haven't connected any wireless devices, so there is no wireless device. And this is my PC that is connected, so it's showing only one wired client. So that's it, and just get back to this network section, and as you can see, lot of setting here over the internet. It's a default created on the quick setup, nothing to do. And let's get back to the LAN. Nothing to do with the LAN also. IPTV I'm skipping because not that much usable. Okay, on the DHCP server, we got the default DHCP enabled, and we have got a pull range of 100 to 240. You can decrease it, guys. You can easily decrease it with minimizing the difference between the IPs, so that you can know that how much client you want to be connected with the router. So just configure accordingly and just keep everything in default setting and just go back to this dynamic DNS. There is nothing to do with the dynamic DNS, no need for that right now. And now with the static routing, so okay, this is static routing. The router has automatically created the routing tables, so you can see there is 3 active routes according to the information I provided on the quick setup. And that's it. And let's get back to this operation mode. On this mode, we got the two options, that is the router current mode that we are using right now, and it is the default routing mode. That's the router it's supposed to work. And this is the access point mode. If you want to use the router as a repeater with another primary router, you can use this. Okay, and click save. That's it. But for now, we need to select only router current mode, that is enabled. And now on the wireless section, we have got the wireless settings first. Now click on the wireless settings, and we have got this smart connect enabled. That is the default enabled by the router. And this is what is that it will be connecting with the both two channels, that is 2.4G and 5G. It's a dual channel, and this single SSID will be work in dual channel mode. You can change the name, you can change the password, give any alphanumeric number with symbols, and just enable the enable airtime fairness just to make sure it works the Momimo future properly, and just click save. So for now on, I'm just changing a password to a random one and changing this route to like giving anything name, just A B C D whatever, you can give any name. So I'm just saving in this way. Okay, okay, saved. Now let's go back to the WPS section. Okay, so this is the WPS section, and in this section only the devices that have the WPS function can connect through this method. So all you need to do is to enable the WPS, this one, and just hold it on. Don't press cancel, just make it enabled. And if your client have a WPS features on their devices, so just you need their pin. If you have their pin, you just go to this client's pin and connect. And if you want to share your router's pin to them to make them connect to your router, you just share this pin. That's it. And let's go back to the wireless schedule, and here you can schedule your wireless according to your needs. Nothing much to say. And this is the one mesh, and this is for the one mesh devices. If you have a TP-Link one mesh devices, you can use as device as a repeater mode, and extend your Wi-Fi range. That's it. Okay, so we got the guest network. Okay, as the name suggests, if you have guests in your home and you want them to access the internet through this router, you can do this very easily. Just enable the guest network, give a proper name. You can enable for the 2.4G and 5G as well. Just give a proper name. Just go to these security options and enable to the maximum security, this one, and give a passcode. There is no need to change the version, let it be default, and just hit save. Okay, now next, the parental controls. So parental controls, as you guys know, that it's for basically for childs. If you want them not to access some specific websites and pages, you can block them easily. And next we got the quality of service. So quality of service, you can enable or disable, but if you enable, only if you want some devices to prioritize the bandwidth your ISP is giving. If you want any device to give the maximum bandwidth, just enable. And if you want no one, no device to prioritize, just keep it off. There's no need to enable. Okay, done. Now go back to the security. On the firewall section, we got the default setting. We don't need to tamper, we don't need to harm anything. Now go back to the access control, and here we go the access control setting. Keep it default. By default, it's supposed to be off. You can make it on, and you can add some devices. You can provide the device name and the MAC address by which the device will be connected to the router and also access the portal page, and just click save. Okay, now go to the IP and MAC binding. There is no to enable these settings. The router will automatically binding the IP through the MAC of the device, so it gets to be done all the job in default. You don't need to tamper, you don't need to change anything actually, just let it be in the way the router is suggesting. So now get back to the net forwarding, and on the first section we dot ALG, and we have by default all enabled, so let it be like this. There is no need to configure virtual servers. Okay, no need to port trigger anything, any port, all are default, just normal for a normal daily home users, so it's okay. So DMZ for demilitarized zone. If you don't need, don't do anything. If you need, so do it accordingly after knowing everything regarding this. And this is UPnP. This is for like if you want to download torrents and all the details after downloading torrent and accessing special ports, special connections, so you get all the details over here. And IP version 6, you don't need to touch this section also, let it be like this. You got the VPN server, OpenVPN, PPTP VPN, and VPN connections. If you have VPN connections, if you are VPN client of any server, you can configure accordingly. But if you're not, so don't touch anything regarding this. And now go to the Smart Life Assistant, and as you can see here is the Alexa provided. If you have Alexa device or any Amazon Echo, Amazon Tab, Echo Dot, or another AVS Alexa voice service enabled devices, you can do this. And you can also, as I told before, you can also use the app to configure all this. Just check it out later. And now go to the system tools, and on the system tools we got a lot of things. We got time settings, we did it earlier. We have the late control, we can control the late, we can turn it off by enable this on this time. On, as you can see, this is written at late of time from night 10 p.m. to morning 6 a.m. the light will be off, and after that the light will be turned on. That's it. And just turn it off and make it default. This is for diagnostics purposes, if you want any diagnostics related thing. Okay, firmware upgrade. If you want to upgrade your firmware, you can do this from this page. You can check for update if you have internet, and you can also update the firmware through a local file that will get from the TP-Link community sites on any other third-party sites. Next, go to the backup and restore. So saves the copy of a current settings. You can create a backup of the current settings what you have did, and you can also restore by targeting the same file after you reset a router, just to save time. And this is the restore factory. You can restore the router keeping the login info, and you can restore fully restore the router to its default settings from this option. On this is a reboot schedule. It's nothing to do because there is no need to reboot. The router stays always on as usual in home, so don't turn it on. Okay, now we got the administration over here. On administration section, we got the account management. We can change the password. We can change the password through emails. As you can see, I don't need this option. And just need to enable this setting, guys. This is a local management by HTTPS, just to secure the protocol of the HTTPS. And you can use the remote management if you want to manage your router outside of the network from another location when you're not at home. So you can give this IP and with this port number, but be careful, guys. This IP only work if this ISP IP and this is a public ISP. Okay, so if this is private ISP, it will not work. So if you have private ISP, there is no need to turn on, there is no use of it, so better it turn off. Only turn on if you're confirmed that this is a public IP. So in my case, it's disabled. On the system log, get all the log files, anything happens router. Okay, on the traffic monitor, just turn it on in case you need to see all the statistics about the connected devices, how much data it accessing. This is the system parameters. This is the default settings. All default settings, you don't need to change anything. These are all the default settings provided by the router. And last, CWMP settings, and these settings we don't need to change anything. It's all about all that VoIP phone calls related things, devices like set-top boxes and all. So we don't need to change anything unless we need to actually when we get all these connections. Okay, so guys, that's it for the video. I hope this video will help you to decide to whether purchase this router, and also if you already had this router and want to configure with the advanced settings, if you need any help, I hope this video will help you. And if it does, if it really helps you, it will be helpful for me and make me feel happy if you comment down in the section below and let me know. And if you have any questions or any suggestions or any help regarding this router and this video, just don't hesitate, just comment me down, I will reply as soon as possible. So that's it, guys. So take care and see you on my next video. Till then, peace off.